Bellerin, Bellerin, thanks to Bellerin.
In by Mustafi. Bellerin, brilliant! 2-2.
Hector Bellerin, Bellerin, Hector Bellerin. Na, 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 na. That's a song. Yeah.
All right, everybody, we've made it to halftime, and Arsenal have the lead. As we said in the pregame, it's hard. They're hard to predict, but they're never boring. Not a boring half. Dean, let's come on in. City jumped on them. It looked like we might be in that early hole again. I think we looked up about 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, and Arsenal had 12% possession. It was all City. It was all in Arsenal's half, but yet Arsenal kept the shape. Really didn't give up a lot of crazy chances, aside from there was one really nervy Hector Bellerin pass back into the middle of his defense that was intercepted and led to a shot, but Xhaka was able to recover and block that. Solid.
Yeah, we definitely looked to be, well, possession-wise wasn't great for us to start with. As you say, there was a couple of little nervy bits, but focused on after the first sort of little while, I couldn't tell you how many minutes in, but there was a time where we just started to look very comfortable. We don't look jaded on the ball. We don't look jagged on the ball like we did against them in the Premier League restart. As I said before the game started, I feel that Arteta may have sort of cinched it now and found that little hook on Pep, and it seems to be the case. Yeah, they are getting in our half. They are getting down to us. Obviously, Aubameyang should have had a goal before the one he scored. That looked, so it's easier than the one he scored. But that sometimes tends to be the case, doesn't it? The harder ones are the ones that go in. But for me, yeah, I feel we're definitely playing a different game to what we played, in the restart.
Looking for the opportunities, and you said it, probably about the 15th minute or so. Interesting, at the beginning of the match where we saw Arsenal was trying to build up from the back. They'd send their center backs wide, and there were moments where they were just kind of standing around. I mean, Martinez was kind of looking at one, looking at each other. City players were just standing, ready to pounce. Arsenal looked very uncertain. Then sometime around 10, 15 minutes seemed to reverse. That we saw City in that position. Arsenal found that confidence that we were talking about, Ryan. They started moving forward when City had the ball. It took them about 12 minutes to get the ball into City's half. But once they did, they started to move forward. They started to move possession out of their half. And we saw it in probably about the last 15, 20 minutes. Possession was 50-50. Arsenal really grew into this game.
Yeah, and I think once Lacazette had that offside chance, the lads started realising, you know what, we can actually get at this City defence. Keep doing what we're doing, we're going to get out of them. And then the chance for Aubameyang came, and then the goal came. And then we started growing in confidence, started playing like how we usually see Arsenal play under Arteta, dictating the tempo. And that's pretty hard against this City team as well to do. And I think you mentioned it best during the game. We had a spell about 2 or 3 minutes where we just had the ball in their half. And it was a very good sequence of forward, back, forward, side, trying to break them down. And if we can keep going like that, they're going to get tired because they're not used to playing on the back foot. So they're going to get extremely tired in the second half of running after the ball. And that's going to play into our hands.
Now, two players that we criticize a lot or have criticized a lot recently had strong first halves, and they really kind of grew into the match. They helped Arsenal build out and were very pivotal in the goal. We're talking, let's talk about Hector Bellerin first, but let's talk about Dani Ceballos. Ceballos have been, especially in those last 20, 25 minutes, very good in his half, intercepting balls, getting in the lanes, getting the ball out. I mean, he had a nervy start where he was getting kind of pushed off, and we saw the bad Dani Ceballos and the good Dani Ceballos in the span of 45 minutes. At the beginning, he was getting knocked off the ball, got fouled once, but he seemed to go down a bit easily. And then again, as he settled in, he helped Xhaka kind of congeal that midfield. He and Hector started pushing and looking for Nicola Pepe. And, you talked about it we were talking about it in the half in the Liverpool game, that he might get more freedom because he's that one creative guy who can move around, who can create his own shot and set up other people. they've been getting him the ball, something they haven't done, and he got that ball on a feed and just a sumptuous pass for a nice toe poke, back foot, wrong foot for Arsenal's goal, cross the box to Aubameyang.
Yeah, and I said in the first game, start Pepe against City, start Pepe and Mendy will be on toast. And it's happening again. Pepe has got the being of Mendy every day, cut inside, go down the wing. If we can exploit their weaknesses on that side, because I don't think Laporte wants to be running in a race against Pepe. So if we can go down that way with Ceballos and Hector Bellerin passing forward and trying to get Pepe one-on-one as much as possible, I say it every game, because Pepe is just that type of player. You get him one-on-one, only one outcome. He can dribble past everyone, literally. I just want to give a massive, massive shout out to Granit Xhaka. He has thrown himself in front of everything. His positioning has been monstrous this game. Just had to throw that out there because he's been brilliant.
And again, they've got a lead, and we saw this against Liverpool, and we thought, are they going to sit back? Are they going to sit back? They might be looking for that controlled breakout, because that's exactly what worked in the first half. They might not need to change their game plan. Let's go back to the striker though, Dean. We talked about that. First chance, and it came out of nowhere. City had the ball. They were trying to get out. Ball was kind of bouncing around the middle of the park. David Luiz jumps on it, just one touch pass onto Aubameyang's foot, sets him free. Arsenal had nothing to that point. This is maybe about the 20th minute. They get a breakaway. He shoots it right at the keeper, and we're all thinking, are they going to get another chance like this? But as Ryan was saying, on the cross from Pepe, much harder, far more difficult. And Aubameyang made it look so nonchalant, like nothing.
Yeah, so two big things here. Just to say, I think the actual goal is totted up at about 19 minutes. So the first chance was probably obviously a little bit earlier than that. But here's the difference. So there's the one that he obviously didn't score, which seemed a lot easier, which came straight from a David Luiz knock through, which was great for David Luiz to see that. It was straight ahead of him in. Here's a stat for you for the goal that was a lot harder though, right? I've just seen this. There were 18 touches leading up to that goal, with 10 of Arsenal's 11 players touching the ball leading up to that goal. Arteta ball. Great. That came from Opta Joe, so it's a legit stat. I've just seen it. Amazing. But look at the difference between the goal that got scored and the goal that didn't. So one touch through from David Luiz to Aubameyang that he just put straight at Ederson, and then 18 touches from 10 of the 11 for him to score. And what a pick out to find Pepe as well. And then Pepe's cross, because I honestly thought I knew what he was trying to do, but I thought that was going off wide. But then I saw the curl on it. And for Aubameyang to reach that, I mean, it was clear, I think, to us as well as the players, as you said, when he didn't score the first one, that, we could see they could get behind this City defence. And they are breaking them down. And, as Ryan pointed out, he did say about starting Pepe. And, I won't go on too much about this because we haven't got long until the second half. But, the great contrasts between the attempt and the goal there.
Right. And from that moment, even before then, they were starting to build in confidence. But that really tipped. I mean, we talked about Arsenal, Ryan, moving the ball around, starting to play in City's half, starting to look like we were saying it was Arsenal. We were not used to this against a team, certainly a team of City's caliber that's given us so much problems. But on the flip, we're starting to see City get frustrated, taking silly fouls. You see, during the water break, Pep was livid. He's kind of perplexed. He's yelling at his assistants, like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why are we not doing that? There's an opportunity. It seems that Arsenal as Arsenal grows in stature, City is becoming a little, I don't want to say too much, they're still City, but a little unsettled, and opportunity for more coming out of the half. Yeah,
because they're not used to us pressing them so high, pushing up against their defenders, and they don't like it. I said it before, they do not like having not so much time on the ball. And they prefer having 1, 2, 3, 4 touches rather than when we're pushing them, they have to take 2 touches, and their passes aren't as crisp that way, and they can't break forward as quickly. So if we just keep doing what we're doing, we could potentially see more goals for us.
All right, and let's talk about pace a little bit. You know, we always talk at the half, like who might they sub, what might they change. I don't think we're going to see much, partly because, again, it's got this kind of feel of a chess match. 2 guys who know each other very well, the 2 managers. Arsenal had the ball, was being very slow, very deliberate coming out. Then City, when in that second half, has seemed to have the same issue. It's not back and forth. It's very kind of, it's almost like, as you said, it's a game of chess in pace and just, again, very deliberate from one, very deliberate to another one. Dean, take us to the second half.
Okay, I was just going to let Ryan have that one. But there you go. I mean, Ryan, if you want to take it, because we're about to kick off, I think.
I'll be my guest, mate.
Well, anyway, they've got the lead. Again, a position we're not used to. They had it against Liverpool. They held it. Again, this is the team that's not boring. Actually, they're just coming out of the locker room. We do have a few more minutes. But Dean, it doesn't seem we're a little nervy, and this is uncharted ground. We're not used to them being so composed. But again, it just seems like get through that first 5 minutes where they seem to have problems, and they've got another chance at this.
Yeah, no, definitely. As you say, I think for us, for fans, more than the players, we're kind of look at this and going, hang on, we're not used to seeing this Arsenal lately against a side like City, against a side like Liverpool, but I think we're all deep down aware of what Arteta can do. And I think we're aware of what he can get out of these guys. You know, it's not been a terrible first half by any means. In fact, considering the opposition, I think it's been a very good first half. And I think, as Ryan was saying as well, and as you said there as well, if we can maintain this and just keep plugging away in the second half, get another goal, and I think that's them told, to be honest with you.
Okay, we've got about a minute before we got to toss it out and everybody can settle down. But Ryan, I'm going to remind you of something you said after the match, after the Liverpool match, where you said it's almost like Arteta created chaos and he flummoxed Klopp. He didn't quite know what to expect. These managers know each other too well to be flummoxed, but Pep seems puzzled.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the way we've set up the wing-backs, because they're playing more like central midfielders than they are fullbacks. Because you'll see Maitland-Niles and Bellerin pushing inside a lot more. So it creates the overload in midfield and it brings their wingers inside as well and allows our Aubameyang and Pepe one-on-one with their defenders. And they don't want that. They know full well Walker and Mendy are not great one-on-one. So you have Aubameyang and Pepe against them. Sayonara.
All right. It looks like City came out early, maybe a little gamesmanship, halftime gamesmanship. Arsenal's coming late. They're just coming onto the pitch, at least on my feed. I mean, people in different parts of the world getting different feed, but Arsenal not looking too stressed out, Dean. It looks again, we're not used to this.
No, we're not, and part of me really is looking forward to this second half, and part of me is kind of like, why are we so composed? I just feel Arteta, like I said, I feel Arteta's kind of got the peg on Pep today.
Well, we're gonna see. All right, everybody, take those two halves: the shaky half and the confident half. As we said, this team never bores us. Let's see what other surprises they have in the bag. They've had 45 minutes of good football. 45 more. Let's see what happens. We'll catch you guys after the match.